Hello everyone, what's up? We're back with another video. Paxton Profits here, and today we're going to be going over the true meaning of fair value gaps in trading. In this video, we're going to be learning what is a fair value gap, why the fair value gap forms, and how we can use it as an advantage in our everyday trades. As you guys can see here, we have the definition pulled up. A fair value gap, otherwise known as a FVG, in trading is a technical three-candle pattern indicating a market structure imbalance or an inefficiency in price where a sharp rapid movement is caused by buying or selling pressure to one side. So in other words, fair value gaps are a three-candle pattern that form when sellers or buyers are taking over in the market. This is formed when the bottom of the first candle and the top of the first candle and the bottom of the third candle create a gap in the second candle, and we can use that to make trades off of it. Here's an example. Here's an on-chart example of fair value gaps. The reason that fair value gaps work is because the market is always looking to rebalance imbalances in price. So if price returns to that gap, it has a chance of reversing because it just completely filled those orders that were made in the price gap that hasn't been touched yet. So we can use fair value gaps as entry points, support and resistance, or continuation zones. That's why they're so useful in winning trades and how I work my model. We have to understand that not all fair value gaps are created equal. Some fair value gaps aren't as strong as others, and sometimes when being retested in price to rebalance them, they are becoming completely invalid fair value gap. That is what we call, and price closes below this fair value gap, that is what we call an inversion fair value gap. Now this is probably the strongest indication in price that a reversal is coming soon, and this is simply because everyone expects a fair value gap to hold, but why would it close through a fair value gap and then continue higher? It wouldn't, exactly. So this is why we use inversion fair value gaps to hold use as an entry to see. If you look on this example, price is going to move lower because we just closed through this previous bullish fair value gap right here. So that is a very good indication in price of when there's a reversal coming soon. Now guys, what I plan to do is get into some on-chart examples of using inversion and regular fair value gaps to win trades in price. Here is an on-chart example of a trade that I used to win a trade where a fair value gap was used. So as we can see, market was starting to chop up. We create our accumulation leg right here. We manipulate into a 5 and 15 minute fair value gap, and then as soon as it does, we see an amazing rejection wick. So that is what we want to look for when taking fair value gap trades. When you see a big wick like this, you see how no candles have this big of a wick. This candle has such a big wick that it's kind of obvious that price will continue lower, as it doesn't look like buyers are in control. So we take the trade off of this fair value gap and we win about, you can take partials here, and if we look all the way down here, there's a nice little fair value gap in here that we can use to target, and price immediately hits our TP after only about 10-15 minutes. So that is the first example of on chart. Here is the second on chart example. If we look left, we are able to see that price is sweeping out significant sell side draws on liquidity. And then during pre-market, we are able to see that there's a 15-minute fair value gap, and as soon as market opens, we inverse this fair value gap. So that's what I was talking about earlier. Look how much buying pressure we have in this candle alone. This is literally a 250-point candle that we can use as an indication in price at a reversal is coming. And what do we do as soon as we inverse this fair value gap with a lot of strength? We continue higher, and look, we take out this significant draw on liquidity up here. So look, we put our TP up here, instant TP hit. Very well executed trade. This trade was absolutely beautiful. This is going to be our last on-chart example of using, but this time we are going to use a fair value gap and an inversion fair value gap for the highest probability entry on our trade. So as we can see, price taps into a 15-minute fair value gap after sweeping significant top buy-side liquidity inside of a fair value gap. Then price immediately inverses this old fair value gap right here. And what do? In the next 15 minutes, we absolutely just shoot down to our take profit in one singular candle. How much is this candle? This is a 100-point candle. This is how much you guys would have made. You guys would have made us so much money. This is generational wealth from these simple, very easy concepts. And if you can find these concepts every day in the market, you're going to be an amazing trader, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I recently just dropped a completely free Discord. I'm going to put the link in the description. Please join up. If you're a beginner trader, then this is an amazing opportunity to learn more. We're going to be doing giveaways, discounts, and live trading in there. So thank you guys so much for everything, and I'll see you in the next one.